Yo, what is the deal, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Boxing Rush Hour show, the live edition. It's Friday, and yeah, it's the day after Halloween, and the gremlins and the wolves are still running around, and that points me towards my co-host Zachary Ochoa. What's going on, Zach?
I don't know, man. I might be candy wasted, bro. What's up? The wolves is out. The wolves is
the
out.
the wolves is
You know that when boxing's quiet, that means the wolves is outside doing stuff. They working on contracts. They working on fights. So I don't know, man.
yeah, definitely. For those that are coming in, we appreciate it. I am posting the StreamYard link in the comments, in the YouTube comments, for people to join us if they want to tap in with us and just say what they want to say with their chests, ask questions, whatever the case may be. I'm gonna take a second to post it on Twitter and stuff. And Zach, tell us how was Halloween in Gotham City last night?
Man, listen, man. We try. I take my son to the nice places on Halloween. I ain't taking him where I grew up. I'm not taking him to the other places because bad stuff happens in New York on Halloween. So we don't really want to get involved with those things and stuff. But Halloween was cool, man. Had a great time, trick or treating and things like that. He was the Incredible Hulk, and of course I wore a wolf mask and regular clothes. I gotta be ready, And it was nice, man. It's really nice to see when the kids just go out and have fun and people are having safe fun and nothing crazy.
Yeah, man, and that's the thing. Like, what I've noticed is that um, each year, it's not that it's getting boring. It's cool. Like, I think people are just being more cautious of going around and knocking on people's doors and stuff like that. I've seen now more so that folks will be like down in front of their house or in the driveway, something like that, kind of avoiding any of the situations where it could be with their kid or whatnot. So I think
Ain't
I,
no
I
knocking
like that,
on
brother.
doors no more. Ain't no
Yeah.
knocking on doors. They standing outside with the candy ready, or they leave a bow on the floor, on a chair, a nice little table, a pumpkin, a skeleton might be holding it, and you go get the candy yourself. You're not knocking on people. If you knocking on my door, bro, and I got candy in the front, there's a problem, and you might never knock on somebody's door again. That might be the last door you knock on.
Yeah, I mean, even in small towns when I was in North Carolina, they would do a like a set hours, and they'll pass it on the news and everything. They were like, "Yo, trick or treating is going from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock, and that's it. Like nothing allowed after that." So
That's good.
yeah, I mean, we'll see what it is. All right, we're gonna get this cooking, man. I put it out already on X. So everybody that's joining us, the numbers are starting to slowly creep up. Zach, what's man, it's November 1st. We are in November already. This year is about to be a wrap. Um, Kind of a light boxing week, but I mean, listen, I think I want to start off with one of the most important things that's occurred in the sport of boxing. Celebrated its 50th anniversary uh, this past Wednesday was the Rumble in the Jungle, Muhammad
Yes.
Ali versus George Foreman. Michael Woods filed a story on fightsatw.com where he spoke to George and he spoke to Larry Merchant. And it was interesting because, Larry Merchant was working for the New York Post at the time. So he took a plane ride with Ali to Zaire the first time. And there was a conversation there. But then he ended up flying back once the fight got postponed, but watched it at MSG, I believe he said, at the Mass Square Garden, along with some other fans or whatever, like on some closed circuit situation. So it was interesting to hear, his take. And George too. Like George was on some. He was like, he didn't really start getting his his pastor thing going until he finally would tell people that I'm the guy that got knocked out by Ali. So people weren't really rocking with him just because he was George Foreman and just because he did all these amazing things. They started to pay attention to him once he started to admit that he lost to Ali. That was that
Yeah.
part right there is the one that really stuck with me. I was like, wow, like, that's amazing how that happens. And even back then, right? I feel like that's something that would happen now during the social media era. But even back then, for that to happen, um, Rumble in the Jungle. As soon as you think about that name or that title, what are some of the first things that come to your mind?
Yo, you know what comes to my mind, bro? I'm gonna be honest. I was watching this fight. I've watched and studied this fight so much, especially at 15 years old. I was studying this fight heavy, man. What comes to my mind immediately is pain. It's pain, it's suffering, it's heart, it's everything. Because Muhammad Ali was past his prime. And for him to endure pain from someone like George Foreman for those rounds and to actually come back strong, knock this guy out, it is literally, it might be, it is, or it's up there, but it definitely is one of the greatest clutch comebacks of all time in the history of boxing. And that's something that people got to realize, man. They talk about a whole bunch of things Ali did, but that was the top of the top. That was like, ah man, that's like Michael Jordan scoring the last point before the clock hits. That's that right there.
Yeah, and it's crazy because you heard all the stories, and even leading up to the fight where people were saying, yeah, Foreman is leaving uh like disc sized dents in heavy bags and doing all these things. So if you think about that, and then you think about all the punishment that Ali took to the body early, when Foreman was at his, max, man, that gives you even more like appreciation for what Ali had to endure just to get into the position later on in the fight.
It was He was literally playing with life or death because George Foreman was a guy that basically, if he hits you, you're not going home, putting some ice on your stuff and gonna rest a little bit. You're going to the hospital. You're going. It doesn't matter where he hits you. If he hits you in your fucking elbow, if he hits you in your arm, if he hits you in your body, you're going to feel it. It's going to hurt, and you're gonna be damaged for a long time. And Muhammad Ali was getting hit with ferocious body shots, ferocious pain. He was getting hit on the top of the head, side of the heads, and this is what I love about Ali is he was a psycho. He was literally a psychopath that he said, I'm gonna do this shit and watch what fucking happens. And he did. And for his corner, Angelina Lundy, all these people, that shows you the amount of faith that these people had in Ali. They were nervous, they were scared, but they just felt something with Ali where we're not gonna stop this. You stop that fight, you ruined history. You stop that fight because Ali wasn't punching with many times that people would that fight would get stopped nowadays. And guess what?
100%.
You ruin the potential moment for history. So Ali is beyond his years. It's what he did in that moment was just amazing, But he countered. He got hit, boom, and then countered, and then came back 1-2, bang, down the pipe. If Foreman would have got up, that Ali was gonna finish him. Ali was
Yeah.
still finishing bad, It's But my goodness, that fight right there is amazing. If you want to see someone with poise, someone with confidence, and he didn't get hit clean all the time,
Hmm.
but someone with a great chin, Ali, I don't care how many times he's been dropped, he has one of the greatest chins in boxing. Watch that fight.
Yeah, man. And I was trying to look for the part in here where let me see. I'm trying to quickly find the part in here where he talks about it. Uh, yeah, because Larry Merchant had gotten banned from going to Zaire because he wrote some shit. He wrote some shit about like some non stuff that happened at a hotel or whatever, and they told him that you can't come back to Zaire. So that's why he didn't end up covering. But you know, man, and for Foreman, coming in there, what a bruise to the ego, right? He was coming in
Absolutely,
there
absolutely.
steamrolling people, and then all of a sudden you got this guy that's taking mad punches, starting with a lead right hand, kind of leaving himself open, basically daring Foreman to counter him, but he couldn't because he wasn't that fast. And man, it was it was something. But yeah, it was the 50th anniversary. Foreman even shared a slice of cake, and he accepts it now. I mean, he's
Yeah,
at a point of his career. Like, I've spoken to him a few times on the phone. I talk to him often, and a lot of times he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm just here playing with my grandkids," and he was like, "Sometimes I just have to try to find my slippers because they hide them all over the house." Just silly stuff like that,
Foreman's
um,
great, man.
and
He's
Foreman,
great.
he's just living his life and living his life through his son. So 50 years of the Rumble in the Jungle. It's something, man. It's something that will probably be spoken about another 50 years from now, when it hits the 100th year anniversary type of thing. So all right,
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit of news here. So
What you got for
uh
me?
Tank Davis, right? Javante Tank Davis. He was scheduled to fight Lamont Roach in December. I think it was like December 15th or something like that. Um, Rick Glazer had put out, "Hey, I'm hearing that there's some money issues going on with the fight. This, that, third. It might not happen." Then Dan Raphael reports, "Oh, there's venue issues." Right, this is what he's being told. There's venue issues. Then Javante is telling Rick that he's capping. But then now, I guess as of a few days ago, Dan got a response from Javante saying that he has been being told that the fight is moving to January. So this type of start and stop type,
That's coming from Javante himself.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
this type of start and stop when it comes to training camps and with holidays and all that. Um, who does any of them have the advantage in this, or does this help Lamont even more? But I mean, it's kind of like in the beginning or middle. I would say maybe in the beginning of camp right now, and now he has to maybe like start again. Like, what do you think that any of them have an advantage when it comes to something like that? And how does that feel having to start and stop a camp?
I don't know. You gotta look at history a little bit. Like you seen the Cambosis, Teofimo getting pushed back, and then finally happened. And just examples, and it can help one guy, and then it can decrease one guy. Um, what I feel about Javante, I don't feel like it's gonna hurt him because the reason why I feel like it's not gonna hurt him is because his trainers are on him. I'm sure they're keeping him in the gym here and there and keeping his body right. He's not gonna be a blow up and all that. If he did, game over. Lamont Roach also he has more time to prepare. What is he losing out of this? Nothing. He needs to secure his how they say bag right. So if his fight still goes on with Javante, if not, they pick somebody else and a bigger fight, something more appetizing comes. They might slide him some money for the waiting and stuff like that. Which is fine. But Lamont Roach has to stay in the gym. He has to stay focused if he wants to make it a competitive fight and want to actually turn the tables and make history. If not, we've all seen how it goes with Devontae. So I don't even think time is not affecting any of these guys in any way. It might just be more that eagerness from Lamont Roach that It's coming. And then, oh, okay, okay. You know what I'm saying? But he has to just stay hungry. Javante, he's been in this position before. He knows what time it is. You understand? So it's gonna be different. I don't
Yeah, yeah, and it's tough too, right? Because um, he's already battled, going up against Thanksgiving, and then now Christmas, and now New Year's, and all those times where there's more off time than on time. But if you're wanting to be the best, right, and you want to snatch the crown off of somebody's head, then that's gonna not be a factor. But when you put that to somebody, how many guys are really, I guess the what separates guys is the guys that really do it and the guys that say they do it and don't actually do it.
Actually, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And he might have not been that guy before, but he most likely is that guy right now. Terrence Crawford is a prime example of that guy. He's always keeping his body in shape. That's why I can't really see Terrence Crawford going up to a 168 unless he trains for it. Not eating off season, getting fat. No, if he trains for it, then he can go to like a 168. Terrence Crawford can do that. But like other guys that keep themselves in shape, Bernard Hopkins would keep himself in great shape. Floyd Mayweather would keep himself in great shape. A lot of guys. Sergio Martinez, he would keep himself in great shape as well. You know, um, so I think Javante Davis with his team right now and the way you don't really see him too much. I'm not on social media, but I don't really hear anything going crazy, bugging out and stuff like that. So that's pretty good. I think he's more grounded right now. So that's gonna show big.
Yeah, and you mentioned Terrence Crawford because there's been and not to pivot for a second, but I will. A lot of chatter about him and Canelo and everything, and I've always been with the thinking that instead of maybe jumping up there, maybe taking a title fight at 160 first, right, and maybe getting something like that,
I
which
agree.
which will capture the imagination of the fans more instead of trying to do a jump from 154 to 168, even though he wouldn't come in at 168, right? But just making the jump to fight somebody at that weight class, I feel like he should make a pit stop at middleweight first, test those waters until, and then maybe that way, Canelo could be a little more convinced because in his mind, it's like, I'm not gonna fight this little guy.
Who has the belt at middleweight?
So you got Carlos Adames, who's with the PBC.
Yes,
You which is that's a good fight for
I've
Crawford.
seen him spar. Go ahead.
Um, Irislandi Lara, a good fight for Crawford, probably a better fight for Crawford. You got Janibek. Janibek is up there. He got two titles, and I think that's it. So Janibek, I think he's gonna fight one of the other guys from the UK, but I
Lara might
think
be a more realistic fight though.
yeah, I think the Lara fight is a good barometer for him. Especially for that weight class. Remember, Lara was just at junior middleweight, not too long ago. So he's probably almost the same kind of body build, and that would be a better fight for him, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. And I keep having to go back, but we didn't catch up after the Tim Zoo debacle, against Bakram. Man, like, whew, he is, what, obviously everybody's, broken that down and everything else, but where does he go from here? Does a change or a shakeup in the corner feel too drastic at this point?
I don't know, man. To be honest, Tim Zoo's good, man. He's a very good fighter, but he can't lie. He's been taking some hard fights back to back. So I think get him another fight, get him in there, get his confidence right. He wins, and then get him another big fight. You understand? It's more of a mental thing for him. A lot of people have been, I guess, sending me videos and posting about, oh, look at the way he's talking in the post fight interviews about like, you know, and they're saying that they take off their hats for him to be being that real in those interviews, but it's dangerous because that's food. I'm an opponent. I fight Tim. Say I have a fight with Tim Tszyu next April. I'm looking at those interviews and I'm going, "Oh, he's still fucked up. That's gonna be hard for him to come back mentally." You understand? But not saying that's bad that he's talking like that. No, we're all fighters. We've all been through it. It's hard, you know. But that's what I'm talking about from a competitive standpoint. I look at certain things and I see that and I go like this. Okay, mentally he's probably not there. All I got to do at a press conference is look at him different, or really get him in the first round. It's gonna mess with him mentally. You understand? So he has to come back real strong. He's almost in the same position as Anthony Joshua was about a year ago, and it's not an easy place. You know, a lot of fighters have been in that position. It's not an easy place to get to. So I believe, I don't want to say switch team. I think Ben Davison would be a good fit for Simsu.
Mm.
Uh, but his other people that he also keeps in his team, keep those guys, but maybe bring someone in, but like really talk to each other and understand what's going on with him and get that going in the ring. That have some fun. You understand? Because the damage he's taken, it's not Fendora and this guy back on. That's heavy stuff. Heavy
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, yes, and we have to see how, but some time off is definitely in order for him, and maybe I don't know, like maybe the weight,
I see this
right?
fight. I see this fight. I see Tim Tszyu coming back. Let him come back and fight someone like Julian Williams, Julian J. Rock Williams. Great comeback fight, right? Or an Erickson Lubison. You understand? Not saying those guys are not going to give him hell, but on paper, be like, oh, Tim Tszyu should beat these guys, but it'll be competitive. That's what it'll say on paper. But they will both be still tough fights for him, but good fights as well.
Yeah,
Now, if
yeah.
you talk about Backroom needs to fight Majimov, and that's it. I don't care what nobody says.
Mm,
Those
yeah.
motherfuckers gotta go. Those motherfuckers gotta go, bro. They they're good. They're really good, and they both have sort of the same herky jerky style.
Hmm.
Um, it's not an
I,
easy
I
fight for both those guys.
I think Madrimov is scheduled to fight somebody soon.
Who?
I think he's on that Fury card, the Fury Lucid card.
On King?
And if not, he's gonna be in the February card. But he's fighting somebody good, not for a title, nothing like that. So I don't know if Madrimov would be an option. I think for Bakram, I don't know. Like maybe Terrence Crawford takes that fight.
But there's no. Oh, Terrence Crawford has a belt
Terrence Crawford has two belts because Fundura has two
at
belts, but
54.
but Fundura, because he's got an interim WBO, but the WBO said to Fundura that if he doesn't fight, oh, you know what? No, they Crawford let him go. So Crawford has one belt. He has the WBA and the interim WBO. Fundura has the
Okay,
WBO and the WBC, and then Bakram has the IBF. So um, he can fight Bakram, and it'll be a unification.
a tough fight.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not an easy fight, bro.
It's not, but it's a fight that would make him one step closer to undisputed at 154 because now
Undisputed, and no matter what, he will be closing in like Andre Ward did as maybe the greatest fighter of in the last 10 years. He'll be closing in on that. That's what Terrence Crawford is, I believe, is going to do. That's what I think.
this is the thing. Three-time undisputed champion. No one's ever done that.
He's first ballot. He's first ballot.
I mean, he's first ballot probably now.
He's
So I
first
mean,
ballot, bro.
but he it may go down as one of the greatest careers potentially. One of, I mean, not saying the greatest, but one of the greatest careers. Shout out to CWF. I'm assuming that he knows you. I don't know who the CWF is, but he says, "Love seeing you. Happy." Yeah, I interesting. It's an interesting scenario. And then, like, if Crawford passes Backraham, then now you have Crawford potentially fighting the winner of Spence and Fundura
I would like to see Spencer and Crawford fight again.
at 154, right? For all the titles again. That would
I
be
would love
so
that.
dope.
I would love that. It just makes more sense for the story. It just makes a
Yes.
lot more sense. History
Yes.
sense and money sense makes more sense.
But this time you do that one in Dallas, man. You do that at Cowboy Stadium. You do that one in Dallas, unless the money is too big to where they have to do it in Vegas, because um, we'll see what it is. We'll see what it is. Uh, so shout out to you there, Zach.
What's going
Shout
on,
out to
Cliff?
shout out to Cliff, who's on the comments. Again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to call in, you don't have to show your face. If you want to call in, the link is on the YouTube stream. On the comments, you could click on there. You could talk your
Have
shit.
some questions.
You can ask some questions, whatever the case may be, as we move along. If that's something you want to talk about that we've already talked about, that's fine too. Just come on in. All right. So we talked Tank, Crawford, Bachram, and all that. Let's get into Fury Usyk, right? So they had
Oh, okay.
big press conference, right? Fury. Now, before I get into Fury, Usyk comes in dressed as the character from Hitman, the video game.
47. Love that.
Yes, yes, Agent 47, red tie, white shirt, black suit, black leather gloves,
Oh, that's
briefcase.
head.
Now, before we even get to Fury, right? You're on the other side of the table of Usyk. This guy walks in like this. What's the first thing that's running through your mind?
I have that game. But if I'm Tyson Fury, that's the first thing that comes into my mind. I go, what? I have that fucking game. The fuck? I love that. But I'm fighting this dude, man. That's trash. Anyways, if I'm Tyson Fury, I go, okay, we might have a problem. You know, you definitely do have a problem.
This guy's serious.
Yeah, you got a big problem.
He's serious. And let me tell you, I saw Tyson Fury, and this could just be me. It could be my 44-year-old eyes. But I did, I mean, and we still have, you know, 6 weeks before the fight. But I did not see a guy that is locked in to fight in the rematch. I saw a guy that is ready to mail it in.
You know, I don't want to say these things about Tyson Fury. I
I don't
don't
want
want
to
to
either.
because I really Tyson Fury is one of my favorite fighters. I love this guy. I love the Gypsy King. The reason why he calls himself the Gypsy King, you got to watch the movie Snatch. There's a movie called Snatch, and Brad Pitt. He's fighting and these guys, and he comes from there, and he fucking will die in the ring. He'll do anything, Tyson Fury. But I believe he's gotten to so many rough fights. He's been in so many big battles. He's taken punches from the biggest puncher in one of heavyweights histories, which is Deontay Wilder. He fought the Klitschko's. And now he's fought the Usyks. So I think he might be just a little bit just his body might be tired. He's a big boy, training hard. He's big. He's up in weight. He has a lot of money. He might be ready to just give it his everything and just ready to go. But the thing is this: with a fighter like Usyk, you can't fight this one like that. You have to fight this one like this. I'm gonna fucking fight. I'm gonna beat Usyk, and then after I'm gonna challenge Anthony Joshua so we can have the biggest or Dubois and have the biggest fucking fight in Britain and in the UK and all of it. Right? That he has to be like that. Not I'm gonna just give him my everything and then go out with a if I win or lose. No, you gotta. He has to go. You can't give this fight 90 or 100%. You have to give this fight with Usyk 110, 120%. Because Usyk is coming to hurt him. He's coming to hurt him. And I want to see Tyson Fury locked in, lasered, pump motherfucking jab. Pump, jab. Grab, boom, boom. Throw him around the ring. Throw. No running around. No waiting your ass. Move your feet, bro. I need to see that. If not, Usyk is going to come out with an 8th round stoppage, and it's not gonna look good for Tyson Fury.
Yeah, and as soon as I saw Fury, that's the first thing I said to myself. I said, "Oh, Usyk is stopping him before the 10th round."
Yeah, and my thing is Tyson Fury has all the tools for it. He's landing fucking lean right hands to the body at will. He can do certain things, but he just stops. He stops. Whether it's a low in action, whether he's a little bit nervous to get countered, but he stops. You understand? But if he stays doing that, guess what happens? He beats Usyk by unanimous decision or by close points, or he touches Usyk in a way where Usyk gets hurt a little bit clip because Tyson Fury does have power. He's a big motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And he hurts him in like the 11th round, and then Usyk gets up, and then it's a close fight, but Tyson Fury wins. Then they fight a third time. You understand? But Usyk, if he does hurt Tyson Fury again, which he can with his sharp, short shots and his angles and his work rate got him that win. His work rate got him that win, bro, because Tyson Fury's work rate was so low. And if he hurts Tyson Fury again, there's gonna be some issues, real issues.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? It's crazy because I'm a name drop and I'm gonna flex a little bit. When I spoke to George Foreman about the first fight before, right? I was getting his prediction and all that. He told me
What did
the
George
big
say?
he said the big fella has gotten knocked down and hit too hard, too cleanly in the past. He was like, he's he's done. He was like, he can't escape that anymore. And he was like, once you get knocked down like that, he was like, it's pretty much a wrap for you. In so many words, he didn't say that, but it's pretty much a wrap. And he was saying Usyk all the way because he said that he just saw Fury take too many clean shots and get knocked down from brutal shots, and you never really recover from that.
That's it's rough. That's rough, and we're missing. It's it just sucks, man. A lot of things suck. As far as not to get off topic, as we didn't see Deontay Wilder fight Anthony Joshua when they were both hot. We didn't see Anthony Joshua fight Tyson Fury when they were both hot. It sucks, bro, because those were mega fights. But guess what? Big fights did happen in Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. And Usyk got Anthony Joshua on the end tail. Uh, but I think in reality, I think it's most likely going to be Dubois versus Usyk again, and then Usyk is going to get another title and fourth and fourth.
Yeah, I mean, Usyk is even talking about going back down to cruiserweight and becoming the undisputed cruiserweight champion again.
he can he can do it, but he's got a good guy down there. That's pretty good, man.
Yeah,
He's got a guy down there that's good.
there's a few guys down there that are good. You got Jay Opataya, you got Christian Billum Smith, I think, who's fighting Gilberto Ramirez. You got some good fighters down there. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But the rest of the press conference, and I think this is like Usyk is serious, but he also like lets you know that he's got a personality but
Oh,
still a
excellent.
killer. And I like to see that because he opened up his briefcase and he had a picture of him, with that crushing punch against Fury and asked Fury to sign him. And Fury wasn't a bad sport and he signed him. Now, being that it's live and it's recorded and stuff, obviously those two pictures were going to be worth a ton of money
That's
at
so
some
that's
point, right?
fuck. That's crazy. But they're not going nowhere.
They're
They're
not
going
going
to his
away.
house in his man cave basement, the mansion.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much, and he might have gotten two because one he'll sell and the other one he'll keep. But the fact that he did that still kind of shows like the human side of it, right? Where he understands that them two in the ring did something special the first time.
But do you know how you know? You're absolutely right, Abe. I love how you talked about that because that makes me bring up the way Usyk talked to Dubois after the fight was, "You can do it. It's boxing. It's a sport. It's tough sport. You can do it. Don't be Daniel. You know." And look what happened with Dubois. You understand? He came back and he did his thing. So like Usyk, he's a great guy. He's a special guy, man. Really great
Yeah,
guy. Yeah.
yeah, and and speaking of guys that are close to or maybe approaching the end of the road. Last
Loma.
week, and I didn't. No, not Loma, but last week I mentioned. I mean, I
Ooh,
didn't write this in the agenda, but Regis Prograde, Jack Catterall. Um,
yeah. Oh my goodness.
Regis Prograde started off really well, but after the fourth, fifth round, he was cooked. He was cooked, and I think sprained his knee, sprained his ankle, and bunch of stuff. After the fight, he said, "Yeah, I think that I'm gonna try my hand at bare knuckle boxing because going 12 rounds isn't it." But then he double backed. A few days later, I was like, "No, I'm not done. I'm not retiring. I'm still going after the best." Blah blah blah. I'm like, "Nah, bro.
You don't
Like,
say that.
don't be that."
All right, so let me tell you something. Ready? There's talkers and then there's throw up by mistake. Shakur Stevenson, no, and Tiafimo, these guys when they say, "Oh, I'm retiring," and this and that's just talking. They're just talking. Then there's guy like Regis Prograde. He throws up. Yo, I'm retiring. I'm not fit. And then he takes it back. He threw up by mistake because he actually said what he felt. You can see it. And Regis is a real dude. Regis is a real dude, bro. I like Regis, man. I like Regis a lot. But he threw up and he said that. You understand? I think Regis Prograde has made a lot of money in his career. I remember years ago he was like, "Man, I made so much money I could retire from boxing right now." I remember he said that one time. He said, "These people don't know how it feels to have a day job and stuff." I like Regis, but he's made a lot of money in his career already. But I think personally, from a fighter, after the Josh Taylor fight, he changed because man, Josh Taylor was smoking.
I think they
Josh Taylor,
both changed though.
they both changed, and that fight took a lot from them, but it took more from Regis than it did Josh. Josh, he was just more on top, and he was just too big, bro. Too big for that weight, and it just killed his body, which kills performance, which you get hit, and then you get hit in the fight, and that kills your. You understand? So I don't know, man. Regis, he says he might move up, right, or something like that. The bare
Yeah,
knuckle
talking
boxing
about.
thing he thinks about, he's talking about that. That is just like it goes to show you that he doesn't feel like he's fit for the top level in boxing, and he just wants to knock out these guys and still want to fight. You know, because Regis is a fighter at heart. You know, he's like me. We're crazy. We just want to fight and hurt people. But when it comes to boxing, you can't just double back, go and then double back and say, "Nah, matter of fact, I'm gonna come back," unless you know that was your plan. But that's not wasn't his plan. So man, I wish Regis the best and everything like that. But he's got to remember that at this top level and you getting punched in the head and everything like that, you can't give it 50%. You got to go all the way and make yourself look sharp and do your thing, bro. And really do your thing.
And let me tell you, with Catterall, he didn't look like sensational either. I
No,
mean, Catterall looked good enough to get a big name fighter and cash out because I think that if he gets the Teofimo fight, it's over for him after that.
so this is a this is 140.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yo, listen, I'll be honest with you, man. If I'm Devin Haney, I say I'm not fighting Ryan Garcia again. I'm fighting Catterall. That simple. Let me
Yeah,
get my belt and let's see if me and Ryan can do it again. Unless, the money's just, of course the money's greater, if
yeah.
you wait and fight for it. But don't wait on Ryan. The last thing you want to do is wait on somebody that gave you the cold spell. Smoke.
Yeah.
So you want to get active, win again, and then go right back in, and you have an advantage over Ryan Garcia, which is activity. In a
Hmm.
inactivity, you know what I'm saying, is what's gonna play against Ryan Garcia.
But you
But
know
I
what
hope Ryan
though?
Garcia is in the gym, bro. I hope he
Both of
is,
them,
even though he cheated. I hope he's in the fucking gym doing his thing.
both of them are gonna be suffering at the same time because Haney hasn't been in the ring since, and he might not be. He's not fighting by the end of the year.
No, of course Haney's not fighting again
He's
this
not
year.
fighting by this
He's
year.
not fighting
So,
this year. No,
so it's like you have to fight in the first quarter of the year. Uh, and I mean, Haney doesn't have a deal with anybody right now either. So where does he go to fight? Is
he
Top
got
Rank is Top Rank going to pay him premium money to fight on their network? I don't know. I think that
it's
they've
got to
paid
be
him.
a good name. He's got to have a big name in order to fight him. Teofimo Lopez, and like I said this episodes ago, he needs to fight Devin Haney. Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. That's just what I want to see. They both deserve it. Teofimo's been underpaid for years now, and he should be paid a lot more money than what he gets paid. But no, he doesn't for some reason. I don't know why. But and then Devin Haney doesn't get respected with his good skills and everything like that, even though he really lost to Loma and stuff. But he doesn't get respect. He's got good skills, bro. He beat Regis Prograis in a great fashion. He's done so many good things. So I think Tiafimo and Devin Haney's a great fight. Everybody's tuning in. Everybody's gonna buy the pay-per-view. It would be a great fight. So I don't know why they wouldn't want that to happen. Both the fathers know each other. They're amateurs, all this shit. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, the story is there for sure. I think with Haney though, he's got the taking a fight and taking any other fight other than a big name is a risk right now because if you lose to another guy, it might be over.
Bro, you don't want that to happen. Don't want that to happen, man.
Yeah,
Don't.
because I mean the I think that people were
You're not Roy
intimidated by
Jones. You're not
yeah
Roy
people
Jones. Roy Jones got knocked out and then lost again, but he could come back because of his name. You don't have that Roy Jones name. You know what I'm saying? And you don't put butts in the seats like Roy
yeah
did.
and that's the thing like people are going to now they might have been intimidated by his boxing skill which didn't allow them to take the chance to come inside but they're coming through the front door now.
Oh,
Anybody and everybody's coming through right from the
I'm
front
coming
door.
through the front door. They need a fight, and they offer me a fight to come. I'm coming through the front door. You say it right now. Like, come on now. We're going to go and try to take him out. And guess what? The possibility is there, or you might get your rude awakening and fucking hit with some shit by Devin Haney, because Devin Haney is the guy that's going to the gym. He's gonna go back to the gym and he's gonna work on his shit. Depending his hunger and his hunger level, and if he's gunshot, you understand? Because guess what? Devin Haney, a real disciplined motherfucker, and he's a clean guy, man. He does his thing, right? But after getting smoked like that by Ryan Garcia, even though Ryan Garcia tested positive and that wasn't right, that shit can change you. And you might be getting scared to get hit now. You might start boxing like, you know, Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? Not saying Shakur isn't a great fighter, but you might start moving around a lot more like he does. You know what I'm saying? So you don't know. You don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's see. Going from Ryan Garcia to his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya and Clapback Thursdays.
My
Oh
favorite show, even
man.
though even
Yo,
though I don't get it live, but it's good.
this guy here. Oh man, he had like this whole like almost like a funeral type scene because his girl got her implants removed, and he's like,
What?
"Why?" He was like, "Why?" He said he suffered two losses this
Oh my
week.
god.
Oh my god, it's hilarious. Oscar De La Hoya boy. Then he shows up to the press conference dressed as the Joker yesterday.
What press conference is that?
Was that
What press conference?
the Floyd Schofield versus Rene Tellez fight?
Okay. Okay.
So that's in Las Vegas, and we're gonna get into that here in a second. But yeah, he shows up to, to the press conference in a Joker outfit, calling for Eddie Hearn, and man, it's just it's all in fun. But I think that this
Oscar's
is
having fun with it, man. He's
yeah, he's
doing.
having
He's having.
fun, but he's also getting a little bit of stuff off his chest, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now he's just ending every section with the "fuck you"
I love
to
that. I love that.
Canelo. I'll be
Well,
dying, man. Anyway, hey, listen, somebody that you do know, I would say, is fighting tonight. Actually, fighting in a little while. Jamaine Ortiz.
yes, he's
Jamaine
funny.
Jamaine Ortiz is, he had that,
Who is
you know,
he fighting?
he's fighting. I'll tell you right now. He had while I look for it, he had the fight with Teofimo Lopez in February, which he lost a close decision to. He is fighting Christian Mino.
Who's
Uh,
that?
at Never heard of him, but let me see. Let me look
Record?
him up. Let me look him up real quick. Christian Mino. So they're fighting on the zone. It's a Box Lab Promotions along with CES Boxing. Um, they're fighting on the zone from the Caribe Royale Casino in Orlando, Florida. All right, so Christian Mino, he's 24-9-2, 17 KOs. He's from Argentina.
Okay,
Let me
that's a
see.
good fight for Jamaine Ortiz.
Let me see. He had a no contest with Andy Vences. He lost by TKO against Kenneth Sims Jr. in the fifth round.
Oh, wow, Kenneth Sims.
He lost by knockout to Ruben Torres in the sixth. Let me see who else. Who else? Those are the recognizable names there. So
All
he's
right, so
gonna,
basically, Jamaine Ortiz, he had a close fight with Teofimo. A lot of people say he beat Teofimo Lopez. Who knows? You know how they score things nowadays. Uh, I think this is a good fight for Jamaine Ortiz because it's a sturdy guy. It's a veteran. He's been in the game. You know what I'm saying? But it's also a fight where he can win and he's supposed to win, and then it can line him up for a bigger fight, which he wants, which he most likely will get for next year. So I like it. Jermaine Ortiz, he's a good dude, good kid. We sparred many times up in Newburgh and everything. And I think after this fight he should call for some other big fights and things like that. Like try to fight maybe um the winner of Pyro and Hitchens, or
yeah.
try to fight these other guys. It'll be interesting. Because you don't want to be in that position where you're saying, I just want to fight the big name fighters now so you can get paid. Of course, that's great to get paid, but if you get a belt or put yourself in a
Mhm.
position where you can fight for a belt, then you become the big names.
Yeah, and I know that he moved up from 135 because he had a hard time squeezing down. He's at 140. Still seems like he's having a hard time squeezing down. That's a big kid, man.
Before he was never big like that, especially when we used to spar and everything. But you get some money, you get a nice couch, uh, get a nice car. It's a little comfortable. You're not moving around like you was. You go to the gym, you stay in shape and everything, but you start eating good, bro. Start eating
Yeah.
steaks with your friends every Saturday. You're paying for it. They're not paying for it. Your fingers start getting bigger. Uh, that's what happens, man. When you start getting a little bit of success. So it's the guys that got to stay in shape, stay in your walk around weight, keep it right. You know what I'm saying? So that's why he looks like he can't make that those weights, which he's supposed to be. But you know, when you start getting good and you start eating good and everything like that, things change. You know, it
Yeah.
happens to almost everybody. Yeah,
And you know, my guy Michael Woods is down there. He's calling the fights tonight on the zone for them.
nice.
And he told Woodsy that Rayo, he feels like Rayo would be a good fit for him next or soon after. What do you think about that matchup?
I didn't never really thought about that fight. I don't see that fight happening. I don't think it'll ever happen. Um, then no, it won't happen. Um, the guys I mentioned will happen, but a fight like that, that's a good fight, man. He would give Ryo a little bit of issues and stuff like that, but Ryo is really good. Uh, if you want to talk like that, mention a Pitbull. You know, you got to mention Pitbull Cruz. If we talk
Yeah.
about these guys, um, but my thing is this: if you're tough, if everybody's tough, I know he's not a big name at all. Besides his brother, go after Gary Russell. I don't see nobody mention him because he's
Hmm.
quiet himself, you know. But if you really want to talk boxing, you want Gary Russell's good, bro. He's nice with it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
These guys don't mention him, and I feel like his promotion or his team or anything like that, they're not. It's almost it's almost like a dry spell in that area for them. Not to get off Jamaine Ortiz and start talking about him, but like those are the type of guys that Jamaine Ortiz should be looking for as well. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But Jamaine Ortiz does deserve the bigger fights and stuff. So I do understand where he's coming from. So yeah, call out all those guys and make it happen. You understand? Before
Yeah.
I cut back.
No doubt. No doubt. Hey, listen again for the let me see 84 folks that are tuned in right now. If you want to join the show, the link is on the comments on the YouTube stream, which is Abe G Boxing. If you want to get on there, hit the subscribe and like while you're there, and join the show. Talk your shit, ask the questions, whatever. All right. Okay. So Golden Boy is doing a show in Las Vegas on Saturday night. Uh, Floyd Schofield is fighting Rene Tellez. Now, for people that don't know who Rene Tellez is, if you think back a couple years ago on the Christmas Eve ish show when Jamel Charlo beat um, Harrison on the second time, and he knocked him out. That night, Rene Tellez knocked out Carlos Balderas. And Carlos Balderas was the next big guy, and then
Yeah,
Rene
I remember.
Tellez knocked him out. Then Rene Tellez started doing those type of things like continually with the through the top rank circuit. Uh Now he's fighting Floyd Schofield. Now Tellez is come forward fighter, little wild, little wide when he throws his punches, but is not afraid to up down varies, changes eye levels up down. um and now he's fighting Floyd Schofield, who's like a Sean Porter type guy, comes in there little rough, sometimes comes in there head first, not with the arms up, right, with the hands up. What do you think about this fight, and could we potentially see an upset on Saturday night?
I think you can see an upset. Floyd Schofield, he's a good fighter, man. As in he's a little athletic. He works hard. His father's on his ass, and he wants to work. He wants to work and he wants to prove himself. But he fights sloppy. He fights like he's green sometimes when he's not green. Maybe in the pros, but you know, I see a controversial win for Schofield on Saturday. As in, he might get hurt a couple times. He might get dropped. Who knows? Get up, go to the scorecards, and try to finish strong and everything. And they might just give it to him because he's the golden boy fighter and not give it to the other guy. A lot of things can happen. Or Schofield might have been in the gym working hard, bust his ass, and stop this guy. And if he does stop this guy, that's a great win for him. You know, understand? That's a statement win for him. But Don't sleep on the guy. He's good, and he could potentially, cause a big upset, big time. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not saying
yeah,
this fight is huge, but in the boxing world right now, if Schofield wins stuff like this, then he moves himself up to fight other big guys and all that stuff, type of stuff. You understand?
and that's the thing. Like, let's remember that Schofield was supposed to fight Ashton Sylvie, the kid from MVP, on the Mike Tyson card, but
Oh yeah,
then,
what happened?
but again, Sylvie got put to sleep on that one punch knockout, a few months back, which kind of killed the fight. So now Schofield's getting this fight, but I would argue that this is a harder fight than that Sylvie fight. The Sylvie fight was, to me, was an easy fight for him, but this fight seems harder for Schofield because of Giron's ability um
This is at
to play
135.
thriller. Yeah, it's at 135.
It's at
So
135.
we'll see. I mean, the only other one that I'm looking forward to on this card is there's an undisputed um, flyweight title fight, women's flyweight title, Gabriela Fundora versus Gabriela
She's good, man.
Alanis.
She's good.
Um,
I like that girl.
she's
She's
really
good.
good.
She's good.
She,
Yeah.
she's really good. She stays in the gym, fundamentally sound, got a lot going on, uses her height, not afraid to get in there and mix it up, and shorten herself for a fighter. So I'm really interested in that. But the Floyd Schofield fight, I definitely want to see that. Speaking of Golden Boy, I heard Kenneth Sims Jr. Had to pull out of his fight in the 19th. I think it's 19th or 16th in Saudi Arabia on that Golden Boy Latino night. He got injured.
Damn.
Yep.
Damn. That sucks. That
Yep.
sucks, man. He's gonna get paid. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna get no money.
And I had just spoken to him like a week ago. I had
He's a
done the
good fighter,
interview.
man. Kenneth Simmons is a good fighter, bro.
Yeah.
He's good, Kevin Simmons.
Yeah, he was focused, and so he got injured, so now
He
he had
beat
to
Elvis Rodriguez bad.
he had to put yeah, he got pulled out. So that's happening there. But yeah, the Golden Boy fight looks pretty good. That's gonna happen. That's on Saturday. But then
Okay.
like today on the zone you have the Jamaine Ortiz fight with Box Lab. On the zone also you have Red Owl Boxing from Houston. They got a card, club show card. I think Pro Box got a card on tonight too. So from Ireland, and I think it's happening now potentially. So a lot of different boxing today. Now that the World Series is gone, the Dodgers won. Whatever, and
Whatever. Forget all this
now,
fucking. I don't even like baseball, but the Yankees should win. Yankees should have won. I don't
yeah, I
understand these
know.
things. What's going on over here? Fucking
So Saturday is going to be the Schofield fight, and then also simultaneously it's going to be the rematch that I'm glad that is happening, and that's Robson Conceicao versus Oshaki Foster Part 2. Their
that's a good
fight,
fight, bro.
that's a really good
Get
fight,
all
and
the other fight. That fight is gonna be a full action, action,
yeah, yeah,
and
and I was gonna say before I get your take on that fight and from
maybe
each
this.
perspective, right? Spoke to Oshaki about 2 weeks ago. Interviews on fightsatw.com, on my YouTube page, Abe G Boxing. Uh, Foster, he told me that he had a little bit of regret looking back at the fight. He felt like he took his foot off the gas a little bit in the championship rounds. And even though he felt he won the fight cleanly, he thought that he could have done more during those rounds to really secure it. He told me that everyone's gonna see a new shock on Saturday night, and he's not taking anything for granted. You hear those things. You've seen the first fight. W- How do you think Oshaki Foster comes out in this one? And then afterwards, tell me, how does Robson Conceicao, now the champion, come in? And does he come in with a chip on the shoulder?
I think Foster. You can't say that everybody's gonna see the new him because people just started seeing him. So can't say that. You know what I'm saying? That's you pushed. You're basically fast forwarding your career too soon. You want to just say you're gonna be sharper and you're gonna look great, not a new because everybody just started figuring out who you are in the world and everything like that, fighting for these in these big fights now. Now the other guy, man, uh, I saw him at the weigh-in, bro. He looked good. He looked in shape and he looked focused, man. I think Foster he cannot pose. He has no time to be posing none of that jabs. The jabs. If he keeps his jab pumping, he can come out with a great win against this tough motherfucker here. The other guy, he's got to come. He's got to be aggressive and take every advantage of any lows that Foster has. You understand? And I can't wait to see the fight. I wish it was happening tonight so I could watch with my son and everything. But man, tomorrow it's gonna be popping, man. I like this fight. I'm glad you actually brought it up because I was just seeing the weigh in earlier today.
Yeah, and for Conceicao, his style, right? You know, it's unorthodox. He likes to, hold, maybe throw an elbow here and there.
He's a
Count,
strong
yeah,
guy.
he counters kind of like he counters with punch sequences, kind of at times. Strong guy, but he also waits a little bit, and so I think with Oshaki Foster, he's gotta be pumping that jab, like you said, the left jab, but he's also gotta, keep that space in, keep it from outside of mid range. Because if Constantine gets close enough, I think that his those straight right hands or those looping right hands will get in and will give Foster some issues. But I don't know. I don't think the jab is going to be enough for Oshaki Foster. He has to gain his respect, and in order for him to do that, it's
He needs
got
to
to
go to
be
body in the beginning. He
yeah,
needs to go to body in the
it's
beginning.
got to be 3, 4 punch combinations though. Like it just can't be 1, 2 punches or one punch
Yes.
at a time.
Yes.
He's gotta mix it in and keep Conceição thinking, keep his mind going, because I think one of the mistakes he made was that he allowed Conceição to think too much in that fight, and that ultimately costed him.
But a guy like that, he's smart. And Foster, he literally has to stay busy, like you said, punching numbers, man. He's got to punch in numbers, throw his angles, and then move. Punch, throw his angles, and then move. Don't let him grab you. Don't let him get close. Punch, punch, punch. Move. Smother him a little bit and get out of there. The guy's taller than you. Work the body. You understand? So this other guy, he's got to muscle up and try and roughen on Foster and run him hot and make him use more energy than he has to use. You know,
Yeah, and I'm gonna see what the right now. Yesterday, Foster was a 4-1 favorite. I don't know what he is
that's
now, but
that's that's crazy.
yeah, yeah, he was a 4-1 favorite, being the challenger. I think everybody's understanding that he clearly won the first fight, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah,
There's
man.
some fighters on this card that I think that people should watch early, as they this one's the ESPN Plus card starts at 5:50 Eastern, 2:50 Pacific. And let me see, I'll give you a list of names of guys that are going to be on there. So you got Jahi Tucker, he's going to be there. Bryce
He's
Mills,
good.
Abraham Nova is fighting again versus
He needs to come back.
Humberto Galindo. I think that they're trying to position Nova into maybe getting another title shot at 130 if maybe Oshaki goes to 135, right? Raymond Murataya is fighting. He's fighting against Jesus
Was
Perez.
What was his last fight? How does his last fight look?
Murataya, not that good. And I think that this one is gonna be one to really gain his confidence back.
Because a lot of guys are big on. I actually was offered that fight a while ago, and I took it, but then they went with another guy because
Yeah,
I would fight that dude. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think something. Um, when he fought somebody that forced him to get out of his one-dimensional style, that's when things started happening. It didn't seem like there was a plan B, and but
Like
we'll
they can't
see.
make adjustment. He don't make adjustments.
Yeah, and I don't think he was hearing what Robert Garcia was saying. He was listening,
And Robert
he wasn't
Garcia is a
hearing.
great trainer. He's a great
Yeah,
trainer, Robert Garcia. But that guy Raymond, he's gonna be in a lot of firefights, and he's the type of guy like, he's gonna start getting dropped. You understand, and going like toe to toe and banging out a lot of time, and those guys don't last a little too long. Not wishing that on them, but those guys, if he needs to just fix some things, and Robert Garcia is a great trainer, and he knows how to do it, but the fighter has to listen.
yeah, yeah, no doubt. So that's Saturday, man,
Okay,
uh, and that's we're November 1st today. Saturday kind of starts it off. Then we've got upcoming is the Latino night, the Golden Boy, Huberto Ramirez versus Chris William Smith. You have Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, but more importantly, Amanda Serrano versus Katie Taylor too. And on that card, Mario Barrios is fighting, Bruce Carrington is fighting, and so it should be a good night of boxing. I heard some of the tickets that were at $70 or $100 are now slashed to like $30. So
good,
I
good.
foresee people kind of buying those things up, and then
The venue.
it's in Cowboy Stadium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in Cowboy Stadium on Netflix,
Yes.
and should be a interesting night. They have like a VIP section that's like 20,000 a seat or something like that. Something ridiculous.
Not
You get to
happening.
you get to meet Mike Tyson and all
Not
the.
happening.
I don't know. They got some oil money over there in Texas, so
Yeah.
they somebody will pay for that
Of
for
course,
sure.
somebody's gonna pay for that, but not a lot of people.
Somebody's gonna pay for that. So listen, I think that is it for us today. I'm trying to see if there was.
I'm looking forward to that in the next couple of weeks. I feel like a lot of big announcements. Well, there are going to be some big announcements. So,
You think
so
so?
I can guarantee you there's gonna be
Okay.
some
And
announcements.
and and do you foresee that being um obviously
2025, bro.
25, right?
25.
2025?
Nothing is happening again this year. Nothing is happening again this year. That's all I'm gonna say. 2025. Everybody's gonna be excited for that. I'm telling you right now. It's gonna be good. Yeah, it's gonna be real good.
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you, and I wrote this, a few weeks back, and I'm hearing more chat of this. There's gonna be new players when it comes to streaming service of boxing that's gonna come on board
Okay.
in 2025.
I'm all
Uh,
for it. All right.
and
Let's see.
and yeah, and it's not gonna be people that have been in boxing as of late. It's gonna be new guys um, that have the money and that are looking for live content, and that should be exciting, and people should be excited about that. I hate the whole divide you know of promoters. I'm on this side because I only watch PBC,
That's
and on
ending
this side
soon.
Top Rank and all
Don't
that.
worry. That'll be ending soon, bro.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it's an interesting thing. And not to plug my stuff here, but I will. I have a story that I finished writing that might post tonight, or maybe I posted Monday. I think I posted today. Um, Looking at the year of PBC on Prime, was it a success? Was it not a success? What could they do better in 2025? Um,
It was a test trial, I
you
believe.
know, Yeah, like what are some of the rumors that were out there that people, all these type of things. I wrote about them,
Tell you
and
one thing. Don't
check it
sleep.
out. Check it out on fightsatw.com probably in the next like hour or so.
Nice. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna check that out. Everybody else check that out, man. But don't sleep. Don't sleep on these guys. Don't.
Yeah, no, and and that's one thing that I'll say this about it. The one thing that we have to always remember that regardless of how people feel about the promoters and everything else, underneath all of that are fighters. fighters that have to fight and fighters that have to fight to provide for their families. So, regardless
Absolutely.
of how people feel about what, we should be campaigning for more fights for fighters under those promotional companies
Absolutely.
instead of
Absolutely.
talking about BS that doesn't really matter.
Absolutely. I like how you close it out with that because we need that for the fighters. Definitely.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt. All right, so listen, Zach, plug away with your situation, whatever you got going on. Let them know where they can follow you if
You
you
can
if you back on
you can
and
follow
go
me
from there.
on you can follow me at Zachary Ochoa on any of these damn platforms that you find me at. You can follow me. You know what I'm saying? So and I'll see everybody soon. I want to thank Abe and everybody for tuning in. Boxing's gonna get real juicy and I can't wait for the next episode because we're gonna be stormed up for it. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out to the 96 folks online with us right now. Nobody called
On
in
their Friday, which
on
is
their
awesome.
Friday.
So
So we appreciate you, whether you watching us from your phone, from your computer, or stuck in traffic. We
yes,
definitely
sir.
appreciate you. We'll be coming back soon, either next week or the following. We're definitely gonna preview that Tyson Paul card, get into it. We're gonna watch the little countdown shows on Netflix before that, and maybe even talk about that, what we saw, how Netflix approached to
Okay.
capturing boxing for the first time and all of those things. So definitely come check us out. Subscribe to the YouTube at Abe G Boxing so that you can get the alert when we go live. We'll always go live for the most part on a Friday afternoon. So don't miss out on that. So for myself, Zachary Ochoa, peace.
Peace.